As the worker was about to shut down the machine and call it a day, the chamber door suddenly got stuck. To avoid getting scolded by the supervisor, the man broke the rules and squeezed inside, but just as he moved the tray aside, the door shut itself all of a sudden.
No, stop! No! Hey!
After the process finally finished, the chamber slowly opened again. The robot dragged out a barely alive Jack. Though his life was spared for the moment, the deadly radiation had already taken its toll. His body was badly damaged, and he was told he had only 5 days left. But when the boss heard about the accident at the plant, he made no effort to treat or compensate Jack. Instead, he complained Jack had soiled the company betting, so he just had someone give Jack 5 days worth of painkillers, then tossed them at Jack, and told him to get out. Jack saw every bit of this cold treatment with growing despair, and the boss would soon pay for his ruthless choice. After being thrown out of the factory, Jack stumbled his way back to the slums. Desperate to survive, he realized his only hope was to reach Elysium and use a med pod. So with his friend by his side, Jack went to see a top hacker named William. William could forge legal Elysium IDs for the poor, and even smuggle them in aboard ships. But his services came with a steep price. Jack asked if he could pay later and board first, saying he'd work off the debt if he survived. William was furious when he heard this, but once he found out Jack had only 5 days left, William's attitude changed completely. He immediately offered a ticket for free, but there was one condition: Jack had to do something most people wouldn't dare. Though Jack knew it wouldn't be easy, he had no choice if he wanted to live, so Jack agreed in the end. William then laid out the deal. He wanted to rob a rich man visiting Earth and extract the data stored in his brain, to crack his bank codes and steal a fortune. And that man turned out to be Jack's own boss. Hearing this, Jack hesitated no more, but by now his body was in terrible shape. He could barely stay on his feet, but William had a plan for that. He had his men bring out a full steel exosuit. The suit fit perfectly over Jack's arms, and gave him a strength he'd never felt before. So he set out with his friend and 2 elite teammates picked by William. Back at the factory office, the rich man uploaded a chunk of data into his brain, then prepared to return to Elysium under robot guard. But just as the shuttle took off, Jack ambushed it. The shuttle's engine was badly damaged, and it crashed near the city outskirts. Jack and his team rushed to the crash site, planning to break open the door, but the rich man had already spotted them, and ordered the robots to engage. One of the robots threw a grenade without hesitation. Luckily, Jack reacted in time, with heavy support fire from his teammates. Jack managed to take the robot down, but the rich man had been shot during the fight. He was on the verge of death, so Jack had to transfer the data right then and there. But once the copy finished, the data turned out to be unreadable junk. But there was no time to figure it out. Military backup was already on its way. The team rushed to get out, but the ship was packed with elite agents. Only Jack managed to escape under the cover of dust. But wounded as he was, he couldn't go far, and the hospital was out of the question. With nowhere to go, Jack thought of Lisa, his nurse friend, so he snuck into her house, and she patched him up as best she could. When Jack woke the next morning, he told Lisa everything that had happened, but then a little girl appeared behind her. That's when Jack realized Lisa had a family now. Feeling out of place, he got up to leave, but Lisa quickly stopped him. Her daughter was dying of cancer. She begged Jack to take her daughter to Elysium for treatment, but Jack couldn't even save himself. He didn't want to drag them into danger, so he coldly refused and walked away. But not long after he left, agents tracked Lisa's home. Unaware of this, Jack went to see William, and told him to keep his word and get him to Elysium. But William said it was no longer possible. The military had locked down the city's airspace, and deployed all their robots to hunt Jack down. Clearly the data they copied was more than it seemed. After scanning the contents of Jack's brain, William immediately recognized it. It wasn't just some bank access code, it was a weapon that could upend the current world order. Turns out, before the rich man left the factory, he'd used a hologram to visit Elysium remotely, and met with the space station's security chief. The chief wanted to overthrow the current leadership, so he asked the rich man who helped build Elysium to write new code, to reboot the entire system, so he could become the new ruler of Elysium. But just when the plan was about to work, Jack got in the way. William saw how powerful the code really was. With it, they could rebuild the system from scratch, and make Elysium no longer just for the rich. Everyone could finally become a legal citizen up there. But decrypting the code would take a full 5 days. Jack was devastated. He didn't have that kind of time left. His top priority was still getting to Elysium for treatment. So Jack decided to turn himself in and approached the head agent chasing him. He offered the data in his brain as a trade, as long as they'd take him to Elysium for medical care. If not, he'd pull the pin on a grenade. The agent agreed to the deal without hesitation, but once Jack boarded the ship, he was shocked to see Lisa and her daughter on board too. Looks like they got dragged into this because of him. The agent reported everything to the security chief. Then they headed at full speed toward Elysium. But just as they were about to arrive, something went horribly wrong. The ship lost control and plunged toward the surface. Thankfully, Jack and the others weren't badly hurt. But as they tried to get out of the wreckage, the agent suddenly turned on them. When Jack came to again, he found himself strapped to an operating table.